Hello everybody. Today I'm going to show you the parts of a tooth and the structure of a tooth. So a tooth has three parts. The exposed part that you can see from outside is called the crown. So this part is the crown, and the part inside the gum or gingiva is called the neck part, and the part which is located inside the bone, that part is called the root. So crown is the part you can see from outside, and root is the part that is located inside the bone, and in between a small part which is located inside the gingiva or gum is called the neck. If you see the structure of the crown, the outermost layer is a white structure which is the enamel, and enamel is the hardest and most mineralized structure of the body, and the enamel protects your tooth. So when you eat the food, a lot of the food has acidic components. The enamel protects your tooth from those chemicals that can cause harm to the tooth. And that's why protecting your enamel, taking care of your enamel is very important to protect your tooth. And under the enamel you have another hard structure that is called the dentin, which is a yellow structure. And then if you see the root part of the tooth, there is no enamel in the root part. However, the outer layer is called the cementum. So in the root part you have cementum in the outer part, and then the dentin under the cementum. Inside the tooth you have the pulp cavity, and this is the pulp cavity. It has connective tissue and the blood vessels and nerve, and you see the narrow channels. These are called the root canals. Okay, and sometimes infection can occur in the pulp tissue, and if that gets worse, the doctors would remove the pulp and clean the pulp cavity and seal it. Around the root part you have a ligament that is called the periodontal ligament. This ligament attaches the tooth to the bone. So bony sockets are for the root part of the tooth, and the root is attached to the bony socket by the periodontal ligament. Okay, so let's quickly go over. This is how you see from outside. So you can see the crown of the tooth, and the outermost layer is the white hardest structure of the body, and the most mineralized structure of the body, that is the enamel. Okay, and it protects your tooth. And this is the gum or gingiva. Now if you see the structure of a tooth, the crown has the outer layer, that is the enamel, and inside the crown you have the dentin, another hard structure. Okay, and then you have the neck part, which is just inside the gingiva, and then the root part. Now in the root part you have cementum, which is the outer layer, and dentin is the inner structure, and the root is attached to the bony socket by the periodontal ligament. Okay, and this is the pulp cavity, and you see the blood vessels, artery and vein, as well as nerves enter into this pulp cavity. This cavity contains connective tissue and blood vessels and nerves. And if infection occurs in the pulp cavity, then sometimes the doctors remove the tissue from here and seal this cavity. Now gingivitis is the inflammation of gingiva. Dental caries is the decay of the enamel, and that can happen although enamel is a very strong hard structure. If you take a lot of sugar or sugar rich food like candies or drinks, then bacteria can easily grow in your mouth, and the bacteria would release toxic chemicals, and that can slowly decay your tooth, and that can cause crack or hole in the tooth, and that is called dental caries. So to treat the dental caries, sometimes we put crown to cover the area, so the food stuff will not get in, bacteria will not be able to grow. Also we put the material to seal that hole or crack. Okay, so putting crown or sealing, those are the ways to protect your tooth to prevent further decay of the tooth. Enamel is not replaced, so once the enamel is destroyed, there is no cell to produce new enamel, so it is not replaced by new enamel. That's why protecting the enamel is very important. Okay, and keeping the teeth clean is very important. Okay, gingivitis is the inflammation of the gum or gingiva, and if you don't treat that, the more advanced condition is called periodontitis. So periodontitis is more advanced form of gingivitis. So those are the things you need to know from this model. 3 parts of a tooth: crown, neck and root. And if you cut the tooth and see inside, enamel, dentin, and in the root part there is no enamel but you have cementum, and then dentin and pulp cavity. Okay, and then periodontal ligament to attach the root to the bone. Okay.